My name is Godofredo Enspere and I'm the head of program for city design at the Royal College of Art.
Hi, my name is Dima Sruji and I'm the studio lead for the master's program in city design.
It's a program, let's say, that tries to imagine and to develop more equitable and just modes of city design in the world today. And if you look at it, the way that our cities, what do they provide all across the world with all their differences, is actually access to immense wealth and immense possibilities of living a great life actually with friends and family and access to commodities, to infrastructure. But actually, and often by design, these cities are also sites of immense exclusion and poverty and discrimination, right? So what we're trying to do here is actually to find ways of designing and developing thinking around cities that leads to forms of design and imagination that are more just and equitable.
Yeah, we're not at all shy from working on case studies that are incredibly challenging in regards to urban struggle. Some of those include, working on the Franco-Italian border, really kind of thinking about migration and investigating moments that are really important for us to kind of take a look at as a form of research. Another example of that, not shying away from urban struggle, is the context of Palestine, which is one of the most contested sites in the world, and using collaborative modes of work that allow us to kind of enter these sites not alone, with the communities on the ground, with activist groups.
If we look at the studio spaces that we're in now, you'll be able to find and to encounter both models, drawings, plans, maps, digital models on computers, physical models. Some of them are ceramic, some of them are representative, some of them are speculative. And that speaks to the singularity of being able to work in this type of institution. So we cater to an interdisciplinary cohort of students, not only because city design issues require different types of backgrounds, require different types of specialities, people that come from a humanities background, from a design background, people that are more interested in the research aspects, in the speculative design aspects, in the collaborative aspects. Not only is it demanded by the types of problems that the field poses to us, it is also an enjoyment and an opportunity to be doing those things at the RCA, because you do have access to an incomparable wealth of workshops, of technical tutors, of facilities that do allow you to experiment in ways that are really hard to find in any other institution across the world.
I think there's also a collaborative environment, not just in the way that the students' backgrounds are composed, but also in the ways that we actually approach workshops and teaching methods in the studio. So for example, in a few days, we have an archaeologist coming to the studio to give us a lecture. We've worked with anthropologists before. We've worked with artists, practicing artists, filmmakers. And I think approaching the studio through that kind of multidisciplinary methodology is very important, because we're kind of also reimagining what a city design project can be. So for example, a design proposition in the case of city design in our studio could mean making a film at the end of the year, or making a book or a game. And we're really kind of broadening what it means to be in a city design project, and we celebrate that. And I think what's also really important is to remember that we're in London. I think it's a really important part of the studio experience, because we are also committed to this city, not just the case studies that we're working on globally. And so to kind of celebrate London, what we do a lot of the time in the studio is take day trips to different archives, like the Palestine Exploration Fund here, to the British Museum, to the Victoria and Albert Museum, which is a 10-minute walk away, to different gallery spaces like the Mosaic Room, also a 15-minute walk away from the RCA. And sometimes if it's sunny, we'll just take classes outside in the park. We're right on Hyde Park, which is really nice. Being in London is important also because of the research that that lives in all of the archives nearby. So they're not separate from the case studies that we're studying, right? Because there's this colonial history that is really important to think about as well, being in London.
So my name's Charlotte Grace. I run the theory component of the city design program. Across the city design program, we really integrate theory and practice, and we orient that in forming a position with regard to the way in which we kind of intervene in city and urban design. The way that we run the course is that we have seminars, predominantly student-led, that I facilitate, but also we have intensive 2-day workshops in and around London with social justice campaigns from across the city.
Some of the students from the previous cohort are now thinking about what to do after they graduate from the RCA, and one of them is so committed to the work that they're doing, that they've done over last year, that they're starting to set up their own NGO in China, from where they're from, to continue the work that they started over last year. And it shows I think it shows a commitment to the work, but it shows an emotional commitment to the project after a year of kind of engaging with the studio, and really creative solutions for their own practice, right? You don't necessarily have to graduate and work for an architecture firm. You can graduate and actually create your own space that thinks about cities in new ways, and that's who we need, right? That we need the students like that are really interested in thinking about new ways of making future city.
And that's, I would say, just to add, that's one of the most fantastic things at the Royal College of Art, coming not just from this program, from all other programs, which is often you find students that you're following your alumni and encountering them and understanding what are you doing nowadays. And the creativity is immense, right? The capacity of students coming from city design to find a partnership with someone from service design, or from ceramics, or from textiles, or someone from architecture working with fashion and humanities in a different type of group. It's quite amazing, and is what convinces us that we're doing something very important in terms of generating the conditions for a transformation of practices and modes of existing and practicing and developing careers in the world and in the future, near future to come, actually. And so it is really, I cannot stress this enough, it is really important for us. The program cannot exist without a diversity of backgrounds and a diversity of expertise and a diversity of lived experiences. And the program is designed in such a way so that you don't need to learn everything. What you really need to do, and that's how life exists outside of academia, what you really need to do is learn how to collaborate and to work with people that are different from you. And that is the trick.